What's up guys, Coach King James here with Copper Moose Fitness. Today, what I call steel shoulders. So the main things we're gonna work on today are the overhead press and how to actually prep your body and the proper muscles for the overhead press. So the overhead press, it really just builds raw upper body strength. It's great for shoulder stability. And just building your upper back in traps as well. Because at Copper Moose Fitness, we're all about getting strong, and these are one of our staple exercises that's gonna get you strong. It does require, though, some mobility in your upper back, lats, and some mobility in your pecs. So what we're gonna do today is we're gonna actually prep you for a heavy overhead press. Say we're doing a lot of pressing overhead, whether it's snatches or just a regular military press. So here are a couple quick ways on how to get some mobility drills done before your session. Take a look. So the first step is attacking the upper back or your T-spine. We need to get some rotation in that upper back, so especially if you have very rounded shoulders. Overhead press wouldn't be ideal for you. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna add mobility to restore that motion, gain that overhead motion. So the first one, you're gonna get into a quadruped position, which means all fours. You're gonna put the hand on the head. So now what this is gonna achieve is we're gonna achieve rotation through the upper back. So your eyes are gonna follow your elbow and you're squeezing back as far as you can. Again, attacking all those upper back muscles, getting them nice and loose, and getting rotation is the main thing that we're trying to achieve throughout this. I recommend doing about 12 reps on each side, and you can go for about 3 rounds. Make sure you really squeeze. Try to achieve more rotation each round you go to try to loosen up that back. Then the next one, all you need is a PVC pipe, or you can even do this with a body weight, it doesn't really matter. I like the PVC pipe so I have something to actually hold on to. So I'm gonna turn around to show you what I want. So I'm gonna shrug my shoulders all the way up. Then without bending my elbows are locked out, I'm gonna pull my shoulder blades down. Squeeze up, and then pull all the way down. So, as I'm pulling down, try not to arch your lower back. Lock in your abs, lock in your butt, shrug up, and then relax those shoulders down. That's scapular movement, so especially when you're doing something like an overhead press, your scapula is gliding across your upper back. So if you have a tight upper back, your scapula is not gonna be able to actually glide where it's supposed to. So this is actually, again, getting motion back into your upper back and scapula, because again, that's one of the muscles associated with an overhead press, okay? So again, do it for about 12 reps, do about 3 rounds, just like the first one I showed you, and then we're gonna move on to our lats next. So you can ditch the pull. So now we're gonna hit our lats, okay? So if you have very overactive lats, that's also associated with that rounding position. So the looser we can get those lats, the better your overhead press will be, because the overhead press doesn't only target the shoulders, but it also targets your lats as well. Okay, so now we're gonna get back down to an all fours position. Now you're gonna walk your hands to the right side, okay? So once you're there, I want you to stagger your left hand out a little bit more than your right. So your left hand should be a little bit longer than your right. This arm is nice and straight, okay? Once you're there, I want you to rotate the hand up like you're doing a karate chop, and then you're gonna shrink your hand into that straight arm. So it's targeting all of this right here. You should feel a nice stretch as you're doing this. You can hold for about, I'd say about 30 seconds to 45 seconds, and then you're gonna switch sides. So now we're gonna go to the left side, which means your outside hand, which is obviously gonna be my right hand, is gonna be staggered a little bit longer than my left. I rotate up with my karate chop. Again, this elbow needs to be straight the entire time or you're not getting the full benefit of the stretch, okay? So relax the head into that arm. Again, you're stretching out that lat. Hang out there for another 30 to 45 seconds. And again, you can do about 3 rounds just like the last 2 exercises I showed you, and that's it. All right, in our last 2 stretches, we're gonna get some mid-back activation. So we're gonna simulate that overhead press motion safely without loading it yet. So what I want you to do is I want you to lock out your elbows and make fists, okay? So your palms are gonna be facing inward. So it's gonna mimic that overhead press motion, but we're gonna go against the wall, okay? So now what I need you to do is lock out your elbows and kind of simulate that overhead motion by pushing your butt back. But what I need you to do is tighten your abs before you do. So tighten your abs and you go into your overhead motion. Wherever it lets you go, again, it might be stiff at first, that's okay, but I want you to breathe now. So once you're here, take inhale through your stomach, and as you exhale, I want you to push a little bit deeper. So think about breathing through your stomach, and then exhaling through a balloon. And as you're going, you're pushing as you exhale. So I don't want to see an arch of the back, okay? So lock in your abs, and then inhale, exhale, relax your shoulders down, and you're pushing down towards the floor with your head, okay? So you're pushing through those arms, and you're trying to achieve that overhead motion, okay? And our last stretch for today, we're gonna go against a wall. I recommend about a foot away from the wall. I want you to put your mid back and butt against the wall, your upper back and your head. So it's 3 points of contact. So your butt, your mid back, and your head, okay? Once you're there, I want you to put your hands up and elbows tucked into your ribs, okay? Once you're there, I want you to brace your abs like we did before. You're gonna come all the way up. Now your goal is to keep your palms flat towards the wall, okay? So, sorry, the light's hitting me, so I'm gonna go over here. So, all the way up, my palms are flat, and as I'm coming down, keep contact with the wall the entire time, and then bring the elbows back into the ribs, okay? So what your body's gonna wanna do is your palms and forearms are gonna come off the wall. So I need you to plant them flat. And when you plant them flat, if you can only come down to here, that's fine, I'll take that, because that's your range of motion, okay? So you're gonna find more range of motion as you do this drill, but you want 3 points of contact the entire time. Again, don't arch from the lower back, because your body's gonna wanna do that too. Lock in your abs, and you're gonna slide up and down the wall as you're doing this. Okay, so do this for about maybe 10 reps or so. You're gonna feel kind of a burning in your mid-back. It's a good thing your mid-back is activating. And again, that's one of the muscles that we work with the overhead press. And it's also gonna help you with your posture as well. All right, so now that all the mobility work is done, all the stretching is done, now our shoulders are nice and loose. Let's get down to the nitty-gritty. Let's get back down to the steel. So we're gonna grab a kettlebell, and now we're gonna go over the overhead press form. So the reason why I like using a kettlebell is you get a lot more stability and rotation through your shoulder than say a barbell. So I recommend using a kettlebell first. Again, a barbell you can load more weight, but again, I feel like the kettlebell is a lot safer on the shoulder just for the rotation aspect of it. So the first thing is your torso. That's the first thing you need to lock in. So what I want you to do is I want you tucking your pelvis under, squeezing your butt, and bracing your abs. The overhead press is a total body exercise if you're doing it standing, okay? So again, bracing the core, bracing the glutes. Now your lower back is set, and now your lower back is safe as well. And then what you're gonna do is you're gonna press straight up. I like to rotate and then come back down nice controlled, okay? So I'm gonna show you from a different angle. I like to point the elbow slightly out, and as you're pressing up, I want you squeezing your shoulder blade down. So press up, squeeze the shoulder blade down, okay? So there's no shrug in this area right here. And then I'm gonna control back down, okay? All right, so the first position is setting your torso, especially if you're doing a standing overhead press. The main things we need to keep safe is our lower back. So by doing that, you brace your abs, you engage your glutes. So again, the overhead press is a total body exercise. So engage everything. I like to have this hand out to keep tension. And I'm just gonna press and control down, okay? Again, I'm not arching as I press, I'm locking everything in. I press, I lock out my quads, abs are tight, and then I control back down, okay? So I'm gonna show you from a different view on how to activate your lats while you're doing this, okay? So I'm gonna go from here. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna slightly point your elbow out, that turns on your lat. And you're gonna do your press, and then think about actively pulling it down. So pulling it down is gonna turn on the lat. So think like you're doing a pull up, you're pulling it down, controlling back in that rack position. That's activating your lat. It's not only a shoulder exercise, it's also firing the lat. And the last thing we need to do is set our shoulder down. So I'm gonna show you from a posterior view. Don't let this shoulder come up. So think about as you're pressing, you're squeezing this down. So squeeze your scapula down, So there's space and it can actually see your neck as you're pressing, okay? And then come back down, nice controlled. Press, I squeeze down and control all the way back. All right, so here's some common mistakes and how to actually fix your mistakes, okay? So the first common mistake is shrugging up with your press, okay? Again, from the back view, you can see all of this is shrugged up. All you need to do, instead of shrugging, is relaxing that shoulder. So just like our mobility drill that we did with the stick, with the scapular slides, do the same thing. So say you're stuck here, all I want you to do is just relax that shoulder down. Now your shoulder's set and packed in, so you're actually properly doing the exercise, okay? So again, as you're pressing, squeeze down that shoulder blade and then come back down nice and controlled, okay? The next mistake is gonna be arching. So again, when people are here, it's usually because the weight's maybe a little too heavy or they're just tired. Again, we don't want form to be sloppy. So we want to use a weight that's appropriate for us. So use the appropriate weight first. The second is, again, pelvis under. So get that tuck under. That's gonna set your core to actually activate. I need you bracing your abs. And as you're pressing, but pressing through your feet. So I'm driving my feet down into the floor and I'm pressing all the way up. So again, that's why I say it's a total body exercise, because you're using your legs and your feet to actually press the weight up. And those are the main two common mistakes that we'll see with the overhead press. And those are how to fix them. So to review, first thing, let's do mobility. Let's get some upper back rotation. Let's get those lats nice and loose. And let's get that mid-back firing properly. And after that, obviously for our form, always remember, as you're pressing, relax that shoulder down and keep your abs engaged the entire time, okay? And then the total body exercise, right? As we're standing, so think about driving through your feet. This is a really heavy weight. Oh, 9 pounds, it's burning. Okay, so drive through your feet, lock out your quads as you're pressing. And again, we always want safe shoulders so we can actually be stronger and move more weights. So that's what we're about. Copper Moose Fitness, we're here to get strong. Again, the overhead press is a lovely exercise to get strong. So are bicep curls. But we're talking about the overhead press today. So again, thank you guys for listening. See you guys later.